Council meeting. It is now 6 o'clock. It's time to begin our meeting, and I want to call it to order. The first thing I think that we need to state for the record is that even though we are doing some open public meeting tonight, of course, seating is limited due to the COVID-19, and so I would like to state that pursuant to the Governor's Executive Order number 34, and in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, the open public meetings of the Algood City Council are being held via electronic means with limited public access. And we do have some members of the public here with us this evening, and we are on Facebook Live while the meeting is being conducted. As we always do, as we begin our meeting, we begin with the invocation and a pledge of allegiance. And if Mr. Morrison doesn't mind, I'll ask him to do the invocation. And would Chief Armour, would you lead us in the pledge? Thank you. Let's all stand.
You would bow your heads. Most gracious and loving Heavenly Father, we come to you, Lord, with open hearts and open minds, Lord, praying that your blessings upon this city as we continue to move forward. Lord, we pray your blessings upon the citizens, Lord, that you continue to help them through these difficult times. Lord, we pray for those that have been touched by sickness, that you'd reach down and lift them up, Lord, comfort them, Lord. Those that have been touched by death throughout this time, Lord, that you'd comfort them, Lord, and help get them through these times. Lord, pray for the council, Lord, that you pour out blessings on them, Lord, lead and guide and direct them, Lord, that they'd follow the path that you'd set before them. It's in your name we ask these many things. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and I'll now ask Ms. Flatt, if she would, to please call the roll.
Honorable Mayor Fowler.
Present.
Honorable Vice Mayor Norris.
Present.
Honorable Councilman Bilbrey.
Present.
Honorable Councilwoman Hawkins.
Present.
Honorable Councilman Hill.
Present.
The next item is to consider our agenda and the minutes of the May 12th meeting. Both of them have been presented to the council prior to this evening. I will ask if you approve the agenda as it is presented.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Flatt?
Mayor Fowler.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris.
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey.
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins.
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Now consider the approval of minutes for our meeting held on May 12th. If there are any additions, deletions, corrections, please let me know at this time. Hearing none, I would consider approval, motion for approval of the minutes of our meeting on May the 12th.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Ms. Flatt?
Mayor Fowler.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris.
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey.
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins.
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
The next item is to consider approval to suspend the reading of Resolution 330-20. The reason that is there is because we will be discussing in some detail that resolution later in the meeting. So I would consider a motion to approve suspending the reading of the resolution 330-20 at this time.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Flatt?
Mayor Fowler,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilberry,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins,
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Item number 4, consider approval to purchase playground equipment from Play World Preferred on Sourcewell contract in the amount of $8,472.52. We have had a chance to discuss that in some detail, but I would ask if Mr. Morrison wants to brief us again on what is involved, what items we might be receiving.
This is the Playworld's Sourcewell contract. This is a national bid price. We would be getting a freestanding glide slide that has a 72-inch deck, which you all have pictures of in your packet. We would also be getting a heavy duty, these are commercial grade equipment. This is a heavy duty swing set. This has 24 feet of bay space, so there are 3 8-foot sections on this. 2 of the 8-foot sections will have adult and larger children swings. 2 of the sections will have infant swings. So these will allow for additional swing sets at the tennis court. So these are the 2 units that we're looking at purchasing, and this does not include installation, so we would be installing it ourselves. This would remove the slide and the swing sets that are now there that are deteriorating very poorly and replace them with commercial grade equipment that should last a lot longer. And we can do whatever color scheme you all wish to do over there. The colors that were sent, those are black and white photos, or a bright yellow and maybe a blue, yellow, and red or something of that nature. But we can pick from a variation of colors if you all have a specific color scheme in mind. The 3 things that will remain at that park that we will try to repair and keep in condition to continue using will be the merry-go-round, the spring ride-on toys that are already present, and the dome climbers that's there. We're going to try to do a repair to it and keep those in usable condition until we can purchase additional equipment for that site.
I make a motion. Second.
Ms. Hawkins has made the motion that we purchase this playground equipment in the amount of $8,472.52. Vice Mayor Norris has seconded that motion. And Ms. Flatt, if you'll call the roll.
Mayor Fowler,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilberry,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins,
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Item number 5, consider approval to purchase a new skid steer from Public Works Capital Outlay in the amount of, and we have left that blank, and from, that is also blank because we have, on a Sourcewell contract, we have had some different prices and variations on those items. Those have been provided to you in your packet of materials. And again, Mr. Morrison, if you want to briefly describe what we're talking about here.
So this is a skid steer. It's a track machine with an enclosed cab. Will allow for landscape work and cleaning ditches and loading materials. It will work with the dump trucks. We've checked the height of the bucket to the pin to make sure we can load with this adequately, and will actually alleviate some use of the backhoe and allow us to do some ditch cleaning and things of that nature, much smaller equipment, as well as dress down the sidewalk, which is where we really get behind. We've rented a machine a couple times, and it's hard to do on our schedule. And it's hard to get as much done as we need to, but we have rented one a couple of times to try to speed the process up. We use this for filling in around the sidewalks, leveling and laying back out. We also included in the price a power rake, or also referred to as a Harley rake or a landscape rake. This is a machine that goes on the back of a tractor or front of the skid steer in this case, that levels and beats the clots out and smooths the dirt and makes it suitable for sowing for grass seed and speeds up the process while we're there working. We got bids on 3 different machines. The 3 comparable machines are John Deere, Kubota, and Bobcat. The Kubota and the Bobcat for the 74 horse compatible machine with the Harley rake are both in the $63,000 range. The Tri-Green John Deere with the power rake is at $56,000. So it's about $7,600, $500 cheaper than either of the other 2 units. The other thing that we priced but we didn't include in this list was an angle broom. If you added that, that would be an additional $7,500 to sweep streets and clean up things of that nature. So those are the items we're looking at. If you would just specify which machine and which dollar amount with included equipment that you all wish to continue with. We tried to look at used equipment after pricing it and shopping around and trying to find what we were looking for. The prices were getting so close to the new equipment, it didn't make much sense to buy a used piece that wasn't going to have the warranty. These units are going to have a 2-year warranty, which makes a lot of sense. The John Deere could be serviced here at Tri-Green in Cookeville if we needed work done on it. And we already have a lot of John Deere equipment that we buy the oils and the hydraulics and things of that nature for. So it's something we already have on the shelf if we need some of the stuff.
Any questions?
Victor, your preference, I mean, if money's not a factor, in just manufacturing, we've got a majority of John Deere's,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah,
And
the
it's-
majority of our equipment is John Deere's, and so we go, we're at Tri-Green a lot for them,
Okay.
so it'll make it a lot easier. And if we go somewhere else, it's gonna be Laverne or Nashville.
Okay. And so they can service this thing here
Yes.
if and when that ever happens?
Yes.
Okay.
Victor, we're talking about that we still need an angle broom.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that something that we need immediately, or is that something that we could put off a while, or do you think
Well,
we need it now?
I think we need it now, Mayor, because it's gonna help us out on, especially when we're out in the road and we got debris on the road that we can sweep it off. We got guys out there just with brooms, pushing, so it makes it a lot easier and faster. As much traffic we have in Hugood now, as you know, it's hard to get out there on the road with men without, having to stop traffic so much. So if you got something that's a little faster, we're gonna get out there quicker.
Okay, back to Mr. Morrison. Is there any possibility that if we added the angle broom, I understand we're talking about already including the power rake, but
Yes.
I'm now talking about that additional angle broom. If we do that, is there any possibility that we would get a better deal than what we have been quoted?
The $7,500 price was a Sourcewell contract price. So those are pre-bid prices. It doesn't matter if you add an additional piece or not, because they're already a pre-bid add-on at that price.
So if we added that on, if my math is right, that, let me get my glasses, 63,000.
$63,500, yes.
Okay. Now, what is the situation with the budget for Public Works? I mean, does that fit into our budget at this time or no?
Yes, we can make it work. We've got a, hang on, let me give you an exact number. Public Works capital outlay has $109,553 remaining. We are going to pull some paving, but we can pull part of the paving out of state street aid and reduce that cost. So even if you included a portion of the paving and the $63,000 piece of equipment, you're only going to be at $90,000. So you're still going to have about a $10,000 surplus left in capital outlay, so we should be good.
And that's good till July 1, and then we start all over.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Does the council have any feeling about adding on this second piece or just going with the first piece for now?
I'll give you my 2 cents. They're coming in under budget. The recommendation from Victor is to get it now. He says he has a need for it. They're coming in under budget. We can afford it based upon last year's budget. We don't have to adjust next year's budget. I'd lean towards doing it.
I agree with Luke, because these other two's gonna be 63,000, 63,006. I mean, it's still right in the same dollar amount with the extra parts.
Yeah, I'd make a motion that we approve it at the 63,500, include the power rake and angle broom. Not sure I know what an angle broom is, but I'll go ahead and make the motion based upon Victor's recommendation.
I'll second.
And that's the
Okay.
Tri-Green John Deere.
Yes,
That
sir.
would
Yes,
be
sir.
for $63,500 from Tri-Green. And that would include the new skid steer, the power rake, as well as the angle broom. And Mr. Hill made the motion and Mr. Bilbrey seconded. Ms. Flatt, if you'll call the roll.
Mayor Fowler,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins,
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
All right. Item number 6, consider approval to reject all the bids regarding our new entrance signs. Most of you know that we have been looking diligently at doing something for 2 signs, actually, for coming into the city on 111 as well as on 10th Street. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Morrison, we only received 1 bid, and I don't have them added together, but needless to say, the large sign came in at $82,722. That is just a tiny bit more than what we had thought it would be. So I think that I would be in favor of rejecting the present bid, and let's resubmit and see if we can't generate some more interest at a more reasonable expense.
I'll second that.
Keith, you've had some other interest though, correct? I mean, just verbal, somebody said.
We've talked to other companies that had already designed the sign in front of City Hall, and we're trying to work on getting a quote from them, and then we decided to go ahead and just go out to bid, so I submitted the packet to them as well. They didn't submit a proposal by the bid end date, so I'm not sure what happened with that. I'll follow up with them. These were nice signs. Again, Graphic House Incorporated out of Wisconsin is the only company that submitted. For 2 of the large signs, you're looking at $164,000, and for 2 of the small signs, just shy of $120,000, which is tremendous amount of money for a sign. It would look really, really nice, but it's a lot of money. That's a small skid steer sitting on each end of town, and so.
With or without an angle broom.
And a power rake.
With power rake, without angle broom.
Okay. All right. I'll make the motion. I'm happy to make the motion that we reject the bids regarding the new interest signs, and I think that was seconded by my
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Bilbrey sitting over here beside me. So, Ms. Flatt, if you'll call the roll.
Mayor Fowler,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins,
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Item number 7, consider approval of Rogers Group for paving. And again, that amount is left open because we have several different projects that they would be working on, and then we would have to total those. So you should have that in your packet. Mr. Morrison, do you want to explain what we're doing here with the paving proposal?
I can. We put out a paving proposal for 4 items. One item was West Wall Street. This is to cap and stripe from 2nd Avenue South to West Main Street. Bid price for that portion was $32,500. We put out a bid for Pennock Street to pave from West Main Street to Riley's Path, which is right across from City Hall here. The bid price for paving that was $20,500. We put out 2 sections of striping on Mirandy Road, and we did only just regular paint striping on these, knowing that we're going to have to pave the section from Main Street to 111 soon, but we're waiting for the water line to be installed before we start that paving. So this striping will get us through until we can get that project completed. The striping for the section from East Main to Highway 111 was $2,000, and the striping from Highway 111 to the city limits out past Deer Haven was also $2,000. So total project price here is $57,000, and we can take at least Pennock Street and the striping out of State Street Aid and only charge the West Wall Street to Capital Outlay Public Works and keep everything under budget in all locations and achieve all of this if you wish to do so. Again, Rogers Group was the only one that bid on it, so it's the only bid we did receive on this. And I think these prices are acceptable considering how much things are costing right now. So I think this is okay. And this will continue us on our paving to try to keep things on track and continue to get paving projects completed and get town caught up.
Council, I'd consider a motion to approve Rogers Group for paving in the amount of $57,000. The projects that were outlined by Mr. Morrison.
I make a motion. Second.
Ms. Hawkins, Ms. Norris, Ms. Flatt.
Mayor Fowler,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins.
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Item number 8, consider approval to declare as surplus the 1995 S&S Wrecker. Mr. Morrison.
This is a 1995 Stewart and Stevenson military wrecker. It's a piece that we've had for several years now. We've used it to pull things out in the past. So lately it's just been sitting a lot. And we use it at 4th of July to put the flag up on the mast and hold it up. But at this point, it's continuing to sit a lot. So we're asking to surplus this and move it on before we begin having to make repairs on it.
Any questions, council? Then I would make a motion that we declare as surplus the 1995 S&S Wrecker. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Flatt?
Mayor Fowler,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey.
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins.
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Item 9 considers another piece of surplus equipment, the military equipment trailer. And I don't know the exact details, but I bet Mr. Morrison does.
This is a Pintle hitch equipment trailer. We have actually received 2 of these. Mr. Jones took the 2 and made one good trailer. He repainted it yellow as he is not partial to the military green for some reason, but he likes the Tonka truck look. So he repainted that, put new tires on it, redid the bed on it, and cleaned it up and made it a really nice looking trailer that we can use to haul heavier equipment on and move things around with the trucks. In the process of doing that, we had to take some components off the other trailer, which have made it unusable for us, and so we wish to declare it as surplus as is, and we'll sell it to someone else who could use it for additional parts, or if they wanted to rebuild it, they could do so. We will also have a big D8 dozer that we will be asking to surplus probably in July to get ready to move it out as well.
I make a motion.
Ms. Hawkins has made a motion, excuse me, to declare a surplus the military equipment trailer painted the Tonka yellow. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, having a motion and a second, I'd ask for Ms. Flatt.
Mayor Fowler,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilberry,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins.
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Item number 10 is consider approval of resolution 330-20 to apply for the governor's local government support grant. And we waived the, or we suspended the reading of that earlier, but now we have, and you should have a copy in front of you. And this is just to apply for the governor's local government support grant. And Mr. Morrison, if you can flesh out the details for those that may not know, I'd appreciate it.
The governor recently released these local government support grants. They were beginning the process before the COVID-19 pandemic hit, and we were going to get around $63,000. As the pandemic continued, the government grant increased, and our dollar amount increased to $127,521 in grant money. In order to receive the grant, you had to submit one of 6 acceptable project categories. One of those was utility system upgrades, which is what we are asking to spend the project money on. We have to pass a resolution that will comply with terms of the agreement and that will submit information to the State Department of Finance and Administration. This resolution is authorizing me to submit the application to the State Department, and that this money will be deposited into the utility fund and spent on the project as we specify. We will be adding out of utility fund balance $37,479 to the project, and we will be using this money to complete the Buck Mountain pump station replacement upgrade. And so what this will do is take 2 smaller 250 gallon a minute pumps that are in a underground cabinet into an above ground pump station with a 350 gallon a minute pump, 2 of them, to better serve the mountain area where we have water issues at times. The pumps that are there now are just too small for the demand that's there, so we were going to have to do this upgrade anyway, so this grant came in as a good timing and a good dollar amount to help us offset those costs. So we're going to be able to upgrade that station to better serve that area at a cost to us of only $37,000, and I really don't think it will be that much. I think that's a little bit high on the estimate, so I think we can get that in under that once we go through bid process and do all that. But this is what we have to submit to the state to get the grant, and then once we finalize the project, as long as we've expensed the $127,521 as we've proposed, we'll be good. And there will be no problem doing that with a pump station upgrade.
Questions, comments from the council? Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, there's been a motion and a second to approve resolution 330-20 to apply for the governor's local government support grant. I ask Ms. Flatt to call the roll.
Mayor Fowler,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilberry,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins.
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
The next item is to consider approval of an agreement with BIS to offer online payments. As I understand it, we are already doing some credit card payments and I think, or some telephone payments, and we are using this company as of now to handle those for us, but this would just be more of an in-depth payment system where they could sign up to do it online. Is that correct, Mr. Morrison?
That's correct. We already take credit card payments. This is Business Information Systems out of Piney Flats, Tennessee. It's the same company that is used by the county clerk's office. In order to use a credit card, we swipe it through this company and they collect the credit card plus a 2.75% fee. And we use that now, and we process telephone payments by doing the same process if they call in to into the utility office right now to try to help with the COVID-19. This will transition to allow a web fee where you can go online and pay your utility bill. And you can also call into their telephone number and pay your utility bill, and they will automatically deposit those in our account each night at the end of the day once those are all collected. They do collect a 2.75% fee from the credit card user or debit card user, whoever uses the payment, and then they give us 100% of our money. We do have to pay a $400 a year maintenance fee for each service. We currently pay the $400 for Tennessee Trustee, which allows all good citizens to pay their property taxes online if they wish to do so. We haven't seen a lot of use of that, so we're going to give it one more year. If that continues to be the case, then Miss Ann and I are going to sit down and reevaluate if that's serving our purpose as effectively as we hoped it would. If not, we'll just drop back to the online bill pay, which I think will be utilized extremely by a lot of our customers as we continue to move forward from this pandemic. I think a lot of folks are going to be looking for new ways to pay their bill. We do currently already offer automatic bank draft, which there's no fee for that, so some customers like that. Some do not care for that because they forget to deduct it from their check account or different things, so they're not crazy about that all the time. But that is a service that we already currently offer, so this will expand us to offer telephone payments as well as online payments through this portal.
So for this year, if we agreed to go ahead and do this, would that be an additional $400?
Correct.
For each, okay, for each service?
So we already have the Tennessee Trustee locked in at $400, so we're only going to be increasing by $400 to add this Utility Flex web fee pay option.
Okay. Council, questions, comments?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All right, there's been a motion and a second that we approve the agreement with Business Information Systems to offer online payments. I'll ask Ms. Flatt if she'll call the roll.
Mayor Fowler,
Yes?
Vice Mayor Norris.
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey.
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins.
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
It's now time for Mr. Morrison's report.
Let Freedom Ring 2020 will be June 27th at 9 p.m. will be a fireworks show only. The park will be blocked off to where there will be no public access. This is in compliance with what the governor's issued, and as well as recommendations from the Department of Health. We will allow folks to park around town wherever they want to, and they can stay in their cars and watch the fireworks, and we hope they enjoy it. The fireworks show will once again be put on by Mark's Pops. Tim Woods is our display artist, so to speak. It is an exceptional show, so we're very proud to continue that fireworks and continue to offer that for the citizens of Allgood. I think it's been a welcome return to see the fireworks back in Allgood, and we'll have them, I think, before most of the other folks, so it'll be a chance to see them kind of early. Also a reminder that July 1st, 2020, our wholesale water rate from Cookeville will increase again this year, as well as our water rates to our customer and sewer rates will be on the increase as part of the 5-year plan that we passed earlier last year. And so we continue to look at that. We are showing positive returns in revenues over expenses this year in the general fund of surpluses of $600,000, which we're very proud of, and our water sewer fund, even with depreciation, is showing nearly a $50,000 positive return, which is also where we want to be because we do have projects that we need to be working on. We're nearing completion start dates on the water sewer project, which will be the water here at Main Street, the sewer at Old Walton Road. Big Mac Drive extension is continuing to work forward as we work with our attorney and Walmart to finalize documents we need to be able to go to bid with that. And we continue to work on sidewalks. And also Red Oak Roasters is hoping to open. Hopefully their grand opening will be the weekend of July 4th if everything stays on track. We have done some work downtown to redo the parking, and we're going to look at a couple traffic studies here downtown to see if we can fix a couple of things. Department heads, do you have anything? Okay. That's all I've got.
Thank you. At this time of the meeting, we always ask for if there are any citizens or delegation concerns. If there are, we just ask that you, as always, be respectful and courteous. Let us know your name and where you live, and then please ask your question or tell us what is on your mind. And I see a hand up. Yes, sir? Does somebody want to hand him a mic, please?
Can you give the stop one to Luke? And I have two, hold on, I'll need one for myself. And the other ones they'll have to share. Okay? I think I got them all. Whoop, I missed some. They'll have to excuse me. I haven't been in public doing a presentation in a long time. My
That's
name
quite
is
all
Ben-
right. Could I just ask your name, please, sir?
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay.
Pardon me?
Let me move that. All right, my name is Ben Perrin, okay? I live on Cooper Road, and I'm sure a few of you are well aware of me, okay? And I'm here today to talk about a traffic issue that we have on Cooper Road and have had on Cooper Road. I've
Yes,
lived on
sir.
I've lived on Cooper Road for about 6 years. I was mainly totally involved with my business, but as time went on, I'm more and more looking at retirement or not retirement. I actually have a job I can enjoy, and I have a bunch of employees that I enjoy. But Cooper Road has been known as a racetrack, and I know it was a funny little sign that I put up there, but it was serious, okay, because it really was being treated as a racetrack. And today, we are going to talk about 9 months of accumulated data. And am I on Facebook?
Yes, sir.
Good.
We're streaming live.
Okay, so Facebook should understand I don't do Facebook, and I don't do Twitter, and I'll be honest with you, I have a hard time reading my newspaper, okay? But I'm sure you've read some of my editorials, and if you haven't, you will be. So I started this, and one of my questions is, who is Dave Rowland? Dave Rowland. Yeah, Dave Rowland. So let me explain to you who Dave Rowland is, okay?
Oh, so you know.
Yeah.
That was just facetious. Okay.
Or sarcastic. Dave Rowland is a person, you know, I set up a speed sign 2 years ago because I had talked to my father. I said, this road is unbelievable. These people are doing in excess of 50 miles an hour on a regular basis. And he said there's no way that they could go that fast on that street. So I set up a temporary sign, and I quickly found out that they were going as fast as 70 miles an hour. Some of them in the middle of the night, and I'm sure they were intoxicated, okay? And a lot of them when your children were going to school. And I caught a person in his company vehicle going 56 miles an hour. And I've caught him in both directions, both playing with the sign and then coming down the other way. And who was that person? Dave Rowland. So what happens? You know, we're all talking about the police now, and we're talking about fairness. And I know it's a black and white issue, but it's also a rich and poor issue. And all of a sudden, I have all this, everything I'm gonna tell you today, I have video of. And it's all stored away. Okay, and I have video of a group of Cookeville police coming down and checking out the system. And then I have all good police coming around and checking out the system. They're right, nobody was speeding, it's okay. And then I got a knock on my door, and a fella named Phil Moss, which is my understanding, not his job to do ordinances, knocks on the door and talks to me about giving me a cease and desist. Now here's the deal. Apparently we're regulated by an organization called MTAS, and Keith is certified in that. And it wouldn't have taken more than 30 minutes to find out that that is unenforceable, that I have a right to do exactly what I am doing. And I kept sending messages back to City Hall, pointing out people that were speeding, and nothing would be done about it. Now, I have a right to do that too, and they have a right to ignore me, and they did. But here's the deal, like I said, 30 minutes it would have taken to find out that you didn't have the right to do that. So I call that intimidation. So then I have a meeting with City Hall and with the captain and with a city manager. And who's parking out in front of my yard while I'm having the meeting? The police. Are they doing their job? No. How do I know that? I have recordings, okay? It's all computerized, it's all automatic, doesn't work all the time, unfortunately. We're gonna find that out today, because now they need something, all right? And so now today, I give you the actual pictures of the people I have been complaining about, okay? And I gave you one list, and if you notice on the top, and I will go through them. Well, I also had one other instance. I have at least twice where the all good police who never speed. I tell you, they were the most respectful people. I told the captain that, and I sincerely believe that. But no, you know, you guys got to play around, okay? So cut through my barrier twice, okay? And I've met one of the officers, and I really don't appreciate people being disingenuous. Be honest. If you made a mistake, that's okay. But they were intentionally testing the system, and then one night, somebody hit 82 miles an hour. How do I know they hit 82 miles an hour? Because I was sitting in my living room, and I heard the anti-lock brakes stop functioning correctly, so they're actually skidding by the end of the road. And would you know, within 10 minutes later, 2 officers show up, laughing and giggling, saying, geez, it must have been hard to capture him because it was fog out. I don't know what happened. Let me just guess, okay? I have video of them sitting there and letting people pass by. They go in the paper, say there's 100 traffic tickets filed a month. They let out those speeding tickets. You know what it's all about? It's all about drugs. Okay, you all got time to pick on kids. All right? This is the best I've seen so far. You never hit 100, absolutely never. The largest you've ever arrested people for speeding is after Luke Hill asked me about a Corvette that was speeding through Brookside. Now, I initially did not want to help him, because guess where half of my speeders are from? Look at the pictures. You got them all right? I'm getting tired of it. I know there's some people at Brookside getting tired of it, so it's probably the same people. And it's not, when he described it to me, I said, Luke, do you have the license plate number? Whoever can get to the vehicle fast enough to get the license plate number and get the actual data of the pictures? Nobody, okay? So, today we're gonna go over what's already been gone over. And we got here, who do we have here? We have a guy in a Mustang, okay? And this guy here is doing over, they're going over 50 to 60 miles an hour. Here's another one in the middle of the night. Can you see the license plate nice and clearly? It's pretty easy to see them in the day. Here's another one, and I'm really curious about this person because he owns a really expensive Mercedes-Benz. I wonder who he is. And again, another one. This one's from Indiana. And I have this other person. Everyone except for the one in Indiana has been through multiple times. The next list I gave you are all the people over 40 miles an hour, and every one of these is 50 to 25 times that I've caught them going way in excess of 35 miles an hour. Brookside is lucky they got 15 mile an hour speed limit. When Luke complained about it, a whole bunch of people got arrested that month for speeding in a 15 mile an hour speed limit, and they weren't doing no 15 miles an hour, no 25. Okay? And that's what's been going on. It's my understanding the history of this town was that you couldn't go anywhere. If you were speeding regularly, you would get caught. And I can tell you this right now, 5 years ago, I have a radar detector. There was radar all over this place. You were speeding, you were gonna get arrested. Now, never use it. Okay, the rest of these people are regulars. Every single one of them. And I have an interesting one, and I'll give the license plate number. 062QQN. And if you notice, he's the first picture, and there's multiple pictures. Guess where he's speeding to? To the end of Cooper Road. He lives in Brookside. And I'm tired of it. And I would like some support. So all I'm asking for is a little support and a method to report these people. And the simple fact that I'm here today complaining on Facebook, which I think is junk, okay? The whole thing will drop in half overnight. Now, one more thing. Dale, you wanted some pictures today. Yes, you did. Okay? You help me, I help you. That's how the world works. You don't disrespect me. You don't try to intimidate me. Okay? We cooperate. All I'm interested in is helping the community. This is a little town with 5,000 people. Less than 5,000 people. Can we not treat each other with respect? No rich or poor. No who's connected and who's not connected. They're breaking the law and they're crossing my property. I want it to stop. Now, there's been a drug house in my neighborhood for over 6 months. And if you had been cooperating with me, I would have let you know about it. All I had to do was tell them, quit coming through my barrier. I know you're a drug house. Ain't no sense for me to go, oh, I had an officer suggest I should go to my neighbor and tell him to quit speeding. Don't ever do that. You're going to get yourself in serious trouble. And any officer that recommends that, oh, he's the officer I caught going through the damn, speeding through the damn barrier. 42 miles an hour.
Sir,
And he's on duty.
sir, can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
There's a lady called me one night. And there's a lady called me one night, and she was coming like up Cooper. And there's another car coming down this way. And it showed how fast that other car was going on her side.
Right. Well, when Phil came over, what happened was Phil felt really bad, okay? Because while he was there, somebody hit 50 miles an hour. And he asked me, is that true? I said, absolutely, positively. Here's the deal, guys. 60% were speeding. That means over 35. I'm not picking on anybody for being 2 miles over the speed limit. And now they know it's 35, so they go 36 just to be irritated. No problem. Set the sign for 34, set the gap up to 37, everybody's happy. Okay? But it was out of control. And 50 miles an hour every 2 hours. 45 miles an hour every 45 minutes. Now, by November, we had managed to cut those numbers down to below 10%. And we weren't getting 50 miles an hour except for maybe every 2 weeks or when people were playing games. And my problem is that the police department and the town was playing games. All right? So who do I have to talk to? I get told we have, we got limited resources and other priorities. Except for on traffic control, I see people sitting around, I don't see no tickets. And if the people listening to this don't like it, then don't come down Cooper Road. Thank you. Anyway, I don't want to have people breaking into drugstores. It ain't the right thing to do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Perrin, and we appreciate your cooperation and spirit of neighborhood, and I appreciate your help with the current investigation. Cooper Road is a problem, and we realize that. But if yours, Cooper Road is referred to as the Speedway, every time we pave a new road, it's referred to as the Speedway. And right now, it happens to be Burton Branch Road. So we have speeding issues. So I know it doesn't make you feel any better that there are other places where it's happening, but I have faith in our police department. I see, sir, I get a report, the council gets a report every month. And I'm sure that after hearing all the concerns today, that will take all of this into consideration, and we're all trying to work together. We appreciate your comments, keeping us informed, and thank you for your diligence, and feel free to address the council and continue to email however it's easiest for you to communicate. Thank you, sir. Now, are there any other items that need to be addressed? All right, hearing none, I would move that we adjourn. Thank you. Seconded and done.